All right, Luna, are you ready? We're going to harvest some peppermint. I want to ask you a question. What is your favorite tea to have when you're at Grandma's?
Peppermint.
It is. What do you put in your peppermint tea? What do we put in it to make it sweet?
Honey.
Peppermint and honey. That's right. I wanted to give you a little Amish trick that I learned many years ago when we first moved down here about harvesting the peppermint. Because I would harvest my peppermint early in the season. Whoops. Say hello to Silas. Say hi, Silas. Hi, Silas. So the trick to harvesting the tea when I would harvest it early is I would get it and then it would always turn like really dark. It would be like brown or almost black when you would store it, and it didn't look as pretty. So one of my friends, Lizzie, she says, I always wait until after the first couple frosts, first frost or two, because what happens is when you harvest your peppermint, it'll stay green longer after it dries. And I thought, cool, that is a total nugget. So you guys got my nugget from the Amish. Because my grandkids, when they come over, their favorite thing to do, we have our tea, Doug and I like to have our tea, and they like to have peppermint tea with honey. So I'm just gonna harvest some of this, and I'm gonna hang it to dry, and it's going to stay green when it dries. Little tip that I want to show some of you guys, because I have a lot of people that come over here that don't know the differences between different peppermints. And two of them that are really hard to kind of distinguish are peppermint and spearmint. So the way you can tell the difference, it's so simple and easy for me when I look at it, because this is a mixture of peppermint and spearmint. So when you look, here's the peppermint. Peppermint has a little bit more of a purple stem. See how that is? Then here, the spearmint doesn't have that purpley vein. See the difference? It's more of a green one. Anything in the mint family is going to have a square stem. So when I look at that, I'm going to know definitely they're both mints. But peppermint has the very pepperminty, like cooling taste and smell, and then it has that purple stem. And then the spearmint, it doesn't. It's more green. Bundle this up, okay? We're gonna hang it to dry so you and Hunter can have lots of tea all winter long. So you know what we're gonna do now? We are going to bundle up our mint so it can dry, so that we can have it all winter. So, I'm going to get a little bundle. You know what this is?
Tape.
Tape. So, I usually, when I bundle mine up, I use masking tape or I use duct tape. So then I'm going to wrap it around really good so it's tight. And the reason I like to use tape is because I have my handy dandy Sharpie and I write what it is. When I first started doing this many years ago, I thought, oh, I know what it is. I'll remember what everything is. And then sometimes when it starts to dry, you really kind of, it's like, ooh, what is that? And then you can smell it and then you realize, but it's still easier this way. So all I'm gonna do is peppermint on this. We'll do 3 big bundles. Thank you, my helper. Is fall your favorite time of year?
Yeah.
Me too. I'm with you. I love it. And this last batch had a little bit more spearmint in it, so I'll call this my spearmint. You want to hold this one? Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go hang it up. Oh.
Now let's go. Woo!
So what I usually do is I have one of these wooden clothes dryer racks that work very well to go ahead and dry my herbs. So I have quite a few of them that I'm going to take off my hooks, and then I'm going to place some of my peppermint and spearmint on there. I have a lot of holy basil. As you can see, it's very, very dry. So I can just crunch it up and put it in some jars, and I'll have tea all winter. And then the reason I like to do the tape, I just stick it in the hooks like this, and they hang very nicely. Who needs air fresheners, right? This is nature's air freshener. The room smells so wonderful. I know I just go ahead at the end of the season when they're selling everything on clearance, I get hooks all the time because they always come in handy here. So basically, Luna and I are freshening up the chicken coop with some herbs because when you grow them, you know, they're pretty plentiful and they're so beneficial for your chickens. I have a lot of mint, so I'm going to freshen up with some mint. I'm going to tie these together, and this is going to be my air freshener in the chicken coop. So some of you guys put those air fresheners in your car. Well, we're going to do the real deal and put some peppermint in the chicken coop. So I'm going to use one of my hooks that I like to collect, and I'm going to hang it up in the center of the coop because peppermint helps to repel pests, rodents, mice. And how many rodents and mice do you have in your chicken coops? Lots of them. So it'll help repel them and also pests. So we're in fall now. We're starting to get a lot of those Asian beetles. We're starting to get a lot of the flies hanging around, coming in now. You know, it's warm days, cooler days. So this will help. And besides that, herbs will help your chickens and your other poultry be in a good mood. It's so good for them. They love it. Now what else I'm going to do with this too is I'm just kind of sprinkle it around in here. It'll make it smell good, and it'll do the same thing, help repel, you know, pests and things like that. So I'm just going to throw it around, and they'll scratch it. And then I'm going to put some in one of their favorite nesting boxes. And then I gave my chicken coop a quick facelift, making it nice. And the chickens will be happy. And you know, life is good. So just a quick suggestion. If you guys are growing herbs, or maybe you want to start growing herbs, herbs are a great way to add to your chicken coop because they do different things. So I have a lot of lemon balm. Lemon balm is wonderful to help soothe and calm. So if you have anxious chickens, that would be great for them. The lavender you can put in there. You can go ahead and put in basil. There's antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, which is great for the chickens. You know, they might have mites or, you know, get coccidosis, and all these things that you could add to your arsenal when you're raising your flocks could help so much. So start growing extra herbs if you're growing them, enough for you, that you can maybe give to your chickens because it is so wonderful for their health and livelihood. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with Luna and I, doing some things with peppermint, because, you know, a lot of this stuff grows here and I just don't want to leave it here, so I got to use as much as I can. And I'm just going to keep harvesting my peppermint because I'll use it all throughout the whole winter months, and I'm going to put it in the chicken coops when it's dried. I'm going to sprinkle it around just like I would make tea and put it all in there, and it'll smell wonderful. So you don't have to use it fresh. Actually, I have to say the dried peppermint works the best. I really love it, and it'll smell in there for like a couple weeks. Smells just like you just put it in there fresh. So I can just challenge you guys to try growing more of these herbs, putting them in your chicken coops, and I hope you have a fabulous day. And leave a comment below if you're going to try this. I'd love to hear from you guys. See you later.